Here on the High Street today at the food bank collection with Emma, who's one of our MSPs, our youngest MSP in fact, and Gavin, who's a Yes Nairn member. Gavin, why are you here supporting the food bank today?
Well, I think for years actually the numbers of people who've actually been requiring and depending on food banks has been increasing. It's been impacted on significantly by the coronavirus situation, and also with Brexit as well. We're going to see probably increased numbers of people who are going to be impacted on by austerity and the effects of leaving the EU and the effects that has on people's income, and that's working people's income as well. So support is needed. It's needed in a number of different ways, and the food bank is at least one way that we're able to provide support for these families. Yeah,
it's a severe indictment of our society, isn't it, Emma, that 2021 and people are hungry. How are things in the Highlands in general? It's as bad as anywhere else, isn't it?
Yeah, and in a lot of ways it's worse, because we have to consider the impact of rural poverty and how different it is in terms of not being able to afford travel to work or education, where that's not so much an issue in cities and more urban areas. But generally all round, you know, we don't want there to be food banks. That's not what we want at all. But because of the situation we're in, we have a crumbling social security system controlled by Whitehall, and this is the best thing that we can do to try and mitigate the effects of that and make sure that people aren't starving.
So Emma, have you got any ideas how as a society we can eliminate this? I mean, surely, you know, 2021, it's a rich society we live in, really, so what can we do?
Yeah, it's really difficult, because this idea that, you know, there's a finite pot and there's just not the money to support people who are homeless or struggling to feed their kids is an absolute myth. What's difficult at the moment is that Scotland is getting more and more powers over certain social security benefits, but not universal credit and others. So all we're doing really is swimming against the tide, because Westminster can decide, right, we're going to remove the universal credit uplift. That's going to plunge an extra 50,000 people into poverty, including 10,000 children. And all we can do is really try to mitigate the effects. Whereas if we had, say, an independent country and we're in charge of all the powers, then we could create a new social security system from the ground up, which actually provides the net in the first instance, rather than creating all these different Scottish Welfare Fund, Scottish Child Payment pots that are just there to mitigate cuts down south.
Well, thank you guys, and thank you for doing this collection. Cheers.